Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing Leetcode problem 383 ransom note with JavaScript. It's considered an easy problem. Alright, given two strings ransom note and magazine, return true if ransom note can be constructed by using the letters from magazine and false otherwise. Each letter in magazine can only be used once in ransom note. Okay, that didn't help me when I read it originally. I had to really look at these examples. So let's look at the true here. Because ransom note has two A's and magazine has two A's, that's going to be true, right? So you take whatever you got in ransom note and that needs to be in magazine, right? So two A's, this has got A, B, we need two A's, there's only one A, that's false. We have A, magazine is only a B, so there is no A in magazine, so that's false. That's basically it. So whatever's in ransom note needs to be magazine for it to be true. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this example. I'm going to go over to CodePen and create our variables. And let's create our function. We'll just call it func. Why not? Okay. So first thing we need to do is we need to create a couple of objects. And that's going to store basically each letter for ransom note and how many times it occurs, and then each letter for magazine and how many times it occurs, right? So two different objects for each variable. So I'm going to call this const ransom, excuse me, rans object. Set it to an empty object. I'm going to say const mag object. Set that to an empty object. Then we need to create two for loops. And what we're going to do is we're going to loop through ransom note. We're going to say, okay, our first character is A. Does A exist as a key in rans object? If it doesn't, then we're going to add it as a key and give it a value of 1. If it does exist, we're going to increment that value by 1. So basically we're putting the letter in there as a key, and the value at the end of the loop is going to be how many times that letter occurs. And then we do that for magazine with mag object as well. So let's just create the for loop. Let I equal 0. If I is less than ransom note dot length I plus. I'm just going to console log everything to make sure I didn't screw anything up. Ransom note at I. Good thing I did that because I did screw that up somewhere. Ransom note. Spell something wrong? Oh. Nice. My brain's not working yet. I didn't log into the console. Great. Alright, so quite simply, we just need to say, you do a ternary operator. I'm going to say if ransom I in rans object. So if that letter exists in rans object, we I'm going to do some copying and pasting because It's just easier sometimes. Okay, so if ransom at I and ransom object at ransom at I, we increment by 1. If not, we're going to create this key. So in ran's objects, we're going to create a key of ransom at I, and we're going to say that equals 1. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and return rance object so we can see it in the console, and we should see something, and we don't, because this is supposed to be a ransom note. It's kind of annoying that they created a variable with so long, right? Ransom note. Good. All right, so we got an object with a that equals 2. That's what we want to see. Now we're just going to go ahead and copy this. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. Because now we need to replace all the ransom notes with magazine. Yep. Cool. And then we just need all the mag object as opposed to rance object. And now this is going to do the same thing for magazine and mag object. And so now, ooh, we're still getting a B in there. That should not be the case, right? Because to change that. Great. So that's rance object in the console. Now this is mag object in the console. So we should see 2 A's and 1 B. Good. All right. So finally, what we need to do is we need to check if, so we need to loop through rance object, right? And we need to check to see if that key is in mag object, and if it is, it needs to be equal to or greater than its value in ransom object, right? So, because again, what we're checking to do is we have 2 A's in ransom note. We need to check if there's 2 A's in magazine or not, 2 or more, right? All right, so we're gonna loop through. Okay, before loop, and we say key in rance object, right? That's the way I loop through an object. And then we need an if statement. So we're going to say if mag object at key before we do that, actually, let's check first to see if it even exists, right? Because if we look at this example right here, right, you're going to get false because this doesn't exist. A does not exist in magazine, right? It's not even checking the numbers yet. We need to first check if it exists. So we're going to say if, no, that's not what we want to say. We want to say if key in mag object, not ransom object. So now we're seeing if the key is in the mag object. If that equals false, then we return true. And then we can, bottom here, I'm sorry, and return false, excuse me. False. And then if we get through that, at the bottom here, we return true. Right now we should be seeing true down there because that is true. Right? But let's say hypothetically we do that. False. Good, because A doesn't exist in the magazine, right? Whoops. We need two A's. Okay. Then the other thing we need to check, or if mag object key is less than Rance object key. So if the value for mag object is less than the value for Rance object at that key, we also return false, right? So if I delete one of these A's, we should get false. And we do. Okay. So I think we're all set. Let's go ahead and go copy all this. And we're going to move back over to Leetcode. Paste that in, format our code. Let's run the code. Cool. Let's submit it. All right, fantastic. Not a super fast algorithm. I feel like it was faster last time. Let me do this again. Well, a little bit better. Okay. Well, hopefully you found this video helpful and enjoyed it. If you did, appreciate it if you would like it. If you'd like to see more like these, please like and subscribe my channel, and we'll see you again real soon.